Georgia, Arkansas?
I'm more excited because it's a home game for me. I got to sleep in my own bed. It's fun. It's cool. I think everybody looked at Georgia's home schedule and you were like, dang, no good home games to go to this year. And Arkansas has been the surprise of the first half of the season so far. Playing great, an old Kirby Smart coach coming back to Athens. So I think there's a ton of excitement. This will be a fun matchup.
Love the video you put about calling them just hungry, locked in a cage, let the defensive line
Dang,
go.
Skippy, bro.
That was fantastic. So just this defensive front that they've been able to build with the 3 transfers they have this year.
I mean, it's just awesome. Like there's people that play hard and there's people that play hard, okay? And they play hard, and I love how hard they play. So it's something. Let's turn this off. I'm on alarm to call my mama. They play hard. They have a great scheme. Like they invite you to kind of run the football with a 3-man front, and then 75 people come and hit you in the mouth. So I love the way they play. Sam Pittman's done a great job with Barry Odom, with Kendall Briles, like hiring the right guys, great coordinators to come in and help them. So it's been very, very successful. But that defense is probably my favorite defense to watch, and from an effort standpoint of all of college football.
You obviously know what it's like to play in this stadium. Arkansas, the last time they were here is 2010. They won that game, but Arkansas is not used to what it's like playing in Sanford Stadium. How would you describe the atmosphere?
Well, the good thing is it's a noon game. I think that helps because usually people are a little more hydrated by nighttime, and it might be a smidge crazier. But no, it'll be a good atmosphere. Last week was a neutral site with A&M. It was another good team, but it was neutral. So it definitely makes a difference. Communication, offensive line, it doesn't help you. It's an advantage to the defense. So I think Georgia's defense, I don't know if you know, but they're really good. They got some grown man up front. Like they got some bad mother shut your mouth. And so it's going to be a tremendous challenge for them. And they're going to have some balance. They haven't had balance on offense. Last week to start the game before KJ got dinged, some big balance, some big plays in the passing game, which they're going to have against Georgia. They're not going to just line up and go, hey, we're going to just pound you in the face like they did against Texas. That won't work against Georgia's defense.
Speaking of these quarterbacks, JT Daniels, KJ Jefferson, who's got the advantage there going up against whose defense?
Well, I think both defenses suck to play against. They won't be fun to play against. But I think Arkansas's defense is not quite as suffocating as Georgia's. I mean, I was trying to figure out where I put Georgia's defense. And listen, they got to earn it throughout the season because it ain't like, do we really think Clemson's a great win now? I think there's a lot to prove still, but this defensive front seven is just silly. So I want to see them against a mobile quarterback this week, and that will be more context to how good they are. But I think I would much rather be JT Daniel or Stetson Bennett, either one of those guys, than I would KJ Jefferson, because just a lot of big, massive humanity coming at you a lot and just over and over in waves.
Being a former linebacker, what impresses you the most out of Arkansas's linebacking corps?
I think the eye discipline, they do a really good job, especially in coverage. They drop in zones and they read the quarterback really well. They set on the quarterback and then they fly to the football. So I think, but they leave everything they have out there. They want to get to the ball any way, shape, or form, but just know where to be, know how to be there, know how to put their eyes in the right spots.
David, 2 years ago, same situation. We were game day. You called Nolan Smith a freak-a-leak, I think, when he was a freshman.
Yeah.
And
he's still a freak.
Exactly. But can you kind of talk about his progression this season and how he's kind of developed into the role player he is now?
He's well, he might be a role player on Georgia's defense, but he ain't a role player. That dude's an animal. But I just think Nolan he gives you so much versatility because he can put his hand in the ground and be a defensive end, or he could be a linebacker and drop. And again, so can Adam Anderson. So can Trayvon Walker. That's what makes this defense unique. There's so many guys that can do so many different things that it's like, which one of y'all kicked me in Rush Hour? Remember when he's like, which one of y'all just kicked me? So some of y'all are way too young for that, but that's all right. But he's just physical. He plays with an edge. He plays hard as crap. Like, I love the way he competes. He uses his technique. He uses his face and hands as well as anybody across that front. So he's one of the many guys in this matchup. Along with Arkansas, I can go down the list of number 1, number 55. I can go down the list of guys on each side that I love watching play.
Nolan Smith said in an interview recently, I don't care if they're the New England Patriots, they're not getting in the end zone. You think this Georgia defense could stop the New England Patriots?
That's a stupid argument. Those guys are getting paid a lot of money, and they're the best of the best, so no, they couldn't. I appreciate the confidence love the confidence, but it doesn't matter. The greatest team in the history of college football ain't messing with the athletes of the NFL. But Mac Jones would be a little happier playing them.
Hey, David, when you look at Sam Pittman 2 years ago, people might have questioned that hire by Hunter Yurachek. Obviously, we are where we are right now. Just how impressed have you been watching Sam as his first head coaching job at Arkansas and do what he done?
Listen, you can take offense to this if you want, but Arkansas is not a top 10 job in the country. It's not. Like, it requires a different person, and it requires a good fit. And here's the thing. Here's what I know about Sam Pittman. That's his top choice, whether you like it or not. Like, it's his. Like, if you look at Sam when he was here, like, first of all, Sam, like, and his wife were at every country concert I ever went to in my life. Recruited at an insanely high level, jovial, always happy, hired great coordinators, embraced like, he had a picture on his laptop of his lot in Arkansas of where he was going to retire in Arkansas. So everything about it is a great fit, and he loves the culture. He doesn't have the dudes Georgia has, not even close. But getting guys to play and believe is a strategy. And listen, it's easier to get it started than it is to keep it. Like, ask Mac Brown. I mean, there's plenty of coaches that it's going to take more and more and more to get to the next level. But I love everything about Sam, who he is. Kirby loves him. Everybody that's on the staff at Georgia love him. That's not the same for everybody that leaves and gets jobs. He's a special dude.
With names like Jordan Davis and Devontae Wyatt, sometimes players like Nazir Stackhouse or Jalen Carter don't get the hype they deserve. How do you think this?
Hold on. Jalen Carter don't get the hype he deserves? Okay, let me. Hold on. Let's fix that then. Okay. Jalen Carter's a top 10 pick in the NFL draft, so you can put that in your notes, whatever you want. Like, he's a freak show. Like, there's a clip against South Carolina, like clip 13, I think, in the game. He lines up in a shaded nose where he's turned directly this direction. Actually, it was clip 4. He was turned directly this direction, and the guard hits him in the mouth. He never sees him, and he hits him with everything he has. And Jalen crosses his face and goes and destroys the running back. Like, he can rush the passer. You're not supposed to be 6'3", 315 and move like that. It's just, he's incredible. Like, him and Jordan Davis and Wyatt, dude, those guys, they're just, like, you go to Alabama doesn't have a single guy like that on their defense. They don't. Like, they're special, man. That group is up front is as dominant as anybody in college football. So, we'll take they're not getting credit off the table. How about that?
Good response.
Okay.
David, how much more do you need to see from this group to
which group? Which side are we talking about?
Georgia's defense to claim that they're the best defense that Kirby Smart's had. What more do you need to see from them to make that statement?
Bro, we're 4 games in, dog. Come on now. Shit. We ain't making that statement anytime soon. I want to see them against a mobile quarterback. DJ Uiagalelei isn't that, and Clemson's offensive line probably couldn't block us right here. So it's been a struggle bus. So I think I want to see him against elite competition. I think Arkansas will be a step in that direction. We'll be more physical, QB run game, but they got to do it for a whole season. This is a couple games. Don't start that crap yet. We're a long way from talking like that.
How do you
What have you thought of JT Daniels' efficiency so far, and how do you expect the Arkansas defense to defend him?
JT's been solid. I don't think he's been sensational. I think he's been really, really good. His timing since the Clemson game, I think, has gotten better. You want to talk about another guy that's a bad mother, shut your mouth, Brock Bowers. Good God. Darnell Washington's going to come back now, and he's a freak too. I mean, he's another guy that's just superhuman in the way he looks and what he can do. So I think JT's been good. I think the offensive line's a work in progress. I think the offensive line's got to continue to get better throughout the season. And I think Georgia's offense has been okay and definitely doesn't match their defense yet. And if that side of the ball gets going, then I think there'll be changes throughout the game, throughout the season with personnel. And I think you'll see more people play up front and maybe see some people shuffled around and to get their best combination. But I think the best football for their offense is probably ahead. And yeah, I think you'll continue to see Stetson Bennett. I think he can do a lot of great things. Nobody else in the country had a lead against Alabama in the third quarter last year. Okay, I mean he hit 20 miles an hour on the GPS in the game this season. So he could bring some different elements to this offense. I think you'll see a lot of Stetson too.
One more question. Traylon Burks this game.
Dude's awesome. First of all, to be 6'3", 225 at wide receiver and run like that isn't fair. Coming from a defensive guy. And they need him in these type of games. They need him with that offense to be a guy that can stretch the field and because so many people pay so much attention to QB, running backs. They need somebody to create one-on-one matchups and win on the outside, and he's that guy. I mean, you got to find him. A&M game, obviously, just to start, to give him a big play up the right sideline. That he's the guy. He has to be the go-to guy, and they have to be able to be efficient in the passing game.
Awesome. Thanks, guys, so much.
All right, dudes. See ya.